I came to Nova Scotia with a couple of goals. I mean, after my father passed away, I realized that I didn't know that much about my dad's side of the family. And there'd always be questions in my mind about how black people got to Nova Scotia. Did they come through slavery? Did they come, I don't know, by themselves migrating here? And the fact that so many of the families have large sections of land here. After being in Halifax, I got a chance to meet up with my Uncle Leonard. This is my dad's brother. And we had a chance to drive back to Weymouth Falls. And Weymouth Falls is the place ultimately where the Jarvises ended up settling. There's 11 generations of Jarvises here in Weymouth Falls. It's a pivotal area. It's where my dad was born. And it was really pivotal for me to come here. I think the last time I was maybe about a year old. I was in diapers.
And you split it down like that. After I limb up, so I'm the head with the axe, cutting the limbs off. Going up the axe with the cutting the limb. And
in Weymouth Falls, I got to meet my dad's oldest brother, my Uncle Lester. I would by far say that he was the head of all of his brothers. And my Uncle Lester, if I could say one thing, he's a very straight shooter, a very honest person. He doesn't hold back on anything. He's going to tell you what everything's about, and if you don't like who he is, it's just too bad. But he's the first person to take his shirt off and help anybody. He loves that. He loves his animals. He used to actually have a turkey farm. He likes dogs. He likes nature. He likes simple things. Your foot sore? I knew that our family were workers, but I didn't know to the extent that they were lumberjacks.
see that road went through there?
Yeah.
We worked 4 to 5 miles up in that woods.
Okay.
4 to 5 miles up in that woods. That's where we worked.
Okay, you guys would you'd end up chopping down.
With a horse cart.
With a horse cart?
Yep.
How long do you used to stay up there?
Till dark.
Till dark?
Yeah, that's true, man. I wouldn't lie about that.
One of the biggest surprises going into Weymouth Falls, I knew that I was going to see a lot of relatives I hadn't seen in a while, but there's my great aunt, who would be my dad's aunt, my Aunt Marge. Walking into that house, I was really shy. I didn't know if she would remember me, and in factual fact, she did.
And I knew her, God. He was always, wherever he was, and he'd come and see me and always speak to me, that's for sure. Here comes my daughter. Here comes my daughter. Now, you're running into something.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Do you know who that is standing
Where?
Hi.
Here?
I'm Michaél Jarvis.
Jarvis.
Earl is my father.
Oh my God. Excuse me. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's good.
These were people that would give what they can. They would, if a neighbor's house there was problems in a neighbor's house, they would all go over and give that neighbor a hand. How come the houses most of the houses are abandoned? Like,
Nobody live. They all died and people don't live with them. Like a ghost town.
Miss Annie Langford's house is empty. Elmer's is empty. Walter's is empty. Shirley's right here is empty.
Sam Langford's.
Sam Langford's.
Yes, nobody in it now.
A lot of people live here in Nova Scotia, but as you can see with the houses and everything like that, a lot of people have left because there's no work here. That's the problem. There's no big industry here. You can't survive just on chopping wood or fishing or any of those things anymore. So what you see in this photo is a community center in Weymouth Falls where my family basically grew up. It's a community center that seems to be situated on one of the long streets here where everybody would meet to do various activities, to sing, to play music, to have picnics, you know, the whole big family fun thing. What you see behind me now is that same community center that has now been named the Sam Langford Community Center. Now, Sam Langford is, of course, one of my relatives. Would be a great uncle on my dad's side, and he was also known as the Black Terror. now I'm going to introduce everybody really to my cousin. It's Dr. Henry Bishop, and I got to tell you this story, how this whole thing worked out. When I started researching and wanted to make films, I wanted to know about Matthew DeCosta and everything like that. Matthew DeCosta, one of the first few black men to land in North America, came to Nova Scotia. So I called on to Nova Scotia, to the Black Cultural Center. It's this great place here, and I speak to Henry Bishop. And then when my dad passed away, you know, Henry was there at his room. We realized and found out that we were cousins. So we'd been talking to each other for the last, how many years is it?
At least 10 years.
At least 10 years. So we've been talking to each other for 10 years.
For a decade.
For about a decade. And we had no clue.
In your history, when the black people came here, they were aboard a ship that actually divided them up into sort of segregated units. And black people, of course, were segregated from the white people.
Yeah.
And so they developed an inspection of the black person. Then they listed their name and their owners, or if they were free, or where they were born, how old they were, what their traits were, what their abilities were. And that became a muster roll of black people. It was called the Book of Negroes. So one of your most important facts in this Book of Negroes is this individual named John Jarvis, which is your forefather.
Yeah.
And so that's the first Jarvis ever to set foot in Nova Scotia. So you've come from him.
I come from him.
And he was born in South Carolina, on one of the islands near the coast of the Carolinas called John's Island. And I dare say that's where he got his name.
Well, yeah, John, that's probably where he got the name John from John's Island. And then Jarvis would have probably been the name of probably the first person that bought him.
Yeah.
To find out that this black person who was born free came up from South Carolina and settled here, it just means that I have tons of family probably in South Carolina too. There was lots and lots and lots of racism here, but they didn't succumb to it. It didn't make it become a crutch or an element of their lives. They would continue doing their job and succeed. This is the worst thing you can do to somebody that hates you, is succeed. When you succeed, you don't need to say anything. You don't need to throw any punches. You don't need to shoot any guns. You don't need to start any wars. You just succeed, and that's enough. And then sometimes those people who may have hated you so much because you succeeded, maybe they may change. You always have to have a little bit of that hope. If you don't have any hope like that, then you have no hope for humanity. Here you go. There was my soliloquy.